Here we go. It's October 1915, Eastern Front. I think this is turn 16. I get my turns all mixed up. So if you notice it says, I got the wrong turn. But the dates are right. Okay. This is 16. All right. The Russians have fallen back, reconsolidated them, trying to reconsolidate. And you got the hordes of Germans crashing across. They railed a few more units in on the Eastern Front because they figured they got the war done and wrapped up, so they're moving more troops to the east. And at the moment, it's going to come down to basically a battle here, probably a battle here, and a battle wrapped up over here. So, because you look at your routes, they're all going to consolidate in certain spots over here. These are the junctions where these battles matter on the Eastern Front for what's going on. So here and here. So right at the moment, it's all up here. So I think the Russians, from my own experience playing the game before, they have to hold out here as long as possible while trying to build up a defensive line back here. So it's kind of a delaying action, waiting for winter. And when winter hits, oh boy, things get really interesting, especially on the Eastern Front. The Ottomans built some troops back, and, well, they fell back into the mountains here in the woods, hoping that will help them with their defense there. And over here, here's the last vestiges. The city fell again. Like I said, probably what happened. It was easy. They just got mangled. And the same thing here. They took Paris back, and that was a slaughter. And the British are sitting here looking at things going, it's not so good. But the French do have one shot left. You know, they have some reinforcements will be coming out, and they can rebuild another unit and maybe some. No, they can't build any artillery because they lost their cities that build artillery, which was here and Paris. So they'll get one shot to take the city back. If they don't, well, that's it for the French. It's a sad story. That's pretty much how it's always worked out for the French. I don't ever remember the French ever winning this game. Like Guns of August or this one. They always seem to get it. All it takes is a few good holes across the front here, and when the things start breaking down, and the Germans start getting those 3-1, 4-1 attacks, get in the corners, then it just collapses. All right, so that's what happened in the Central Powers turn of October of 1915. All right, we'll be back. Turn 16 on the Eastern Front. Allies, and, well, it's October, and it's muddy. The weather has turned to mud. So what that does is that the rail lines are only able to move, railheads move 2 hexes instead of 3, and you lose a movement point. So, yeah. So everybody's kind of falling back. That's kind of slogging through everything. And the Russians are built a line along the river here. They got their fort system. They got a fort right there. It's kind of like a delaying action. And right here, they're building their line along the only routes heading into that area. So if they can hold there and hold right here, they can stop the Germans and the Austrians cold right there until they can, well, build up their forces again. So there you go. And then that's giving time for the Brits to do something. All right, so the Brits right here, they did attack they took out a Ottoman unit that was right there and just mangled it with pretty easy. I rolled 3 10s, so that was like, wow, I just mangled them. Here, I rolled another 10 and forced these guys to, they're disrupted, so they lost the straits and they had to fall back. So the next turn, when they activate, they're going to have to fall back out of there. And so there's Gallipoli. Whoa! Imagine that. Okay, so Brits are putting pressure on the Ottoman Empire. All right, over here, well, I'm sad to say, the French gave it their all. They tried to take the city, and all there's left is one German corps, but they didn't take the city back, and France fell. End the story. No more France. So they lasted to October of 1915 before they got conquered. And the Brits, well, they hit the port and got out of Dodge, and they're heading for this Cherbourg over here to get into this port and get out of Dodge. So their armies are going to be going elsewhere over here. You're going to soon see, all they can say is that the Central Powers better hope that Bulgaria does not come into war, because if they do, I can guarantee you there's not going to be any hope for the Ottomans to hold off the Brits. The Brits will take there, and if Bulgaria comes into the war, they'll go into Bulgaria and crush Bulgaria, because Bulgaria has an army that's the same condition as the Ottomans. Pretty sad. Because look at this. Bulgarian army. Ooh, they got 1, 2, 3s, and they got 2, 3, 3 infantry. Yeah. And that's not going to hold out against the Brits at all. They're just going to mangle that. And what happens then is this little road right here opens up, and they can go into Serbia, and then they can then go into Austria-Hungary, and then head up into Germany that route, if they want to. And if that happens, you can probably guarantee that Greece will probably come into the war too eventually. And if we have to look at this. Is Italy, I think in November, we have to look at Italy, what they're going to do, if they come into the war or not. So we'll have to look at that. So if Italy comes into the war, odds are they're going to come in as Central Powers. So, but I'm surprised. There we go. But that's it. That is the end of France. No more France. No more Western Front. All right. We'll be back.